to the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do every weekday over the airwaves of ESPN Radio and ESPN News. 250-plus markets across the United States of America. Check your AM, FM listening dial, plus ESPN Radio on Sirius XM, Channel 80, plus ESPN Radio simulcast over the live national television airwaves of ESPN News. Number to call up as always is 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. The NBA is on ESPN Radio. Tune in tomorrow night as Harden and the Rockets host Westbrook and the Thunder. Presented by Indeed. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. Eastern on most ESPN radio stations. Time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, no contracts. Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see what transpired last night? Did you see that the NBA trading deadline came and went, and Anthony Davis is not in L.A. with the Lakers? Did you see it? Did you see it? That's what I need to know. Because I tried to tell y'all it wasn't going to happen. I tried to tell y'all there was no way in hell that the New Orleans Pelicans were going to move Anthony Davis before the trading deadline, because in the event that something like that happened, it would be perceived, accurately or not, as caving, capitulating, giving in to Rich Paul, Clutch Sports, who represent Anthony Davis and ultimately LeBron James. And there were too many people in the league who were adamantly against that and were in Dell Demp's ear, imploring him, in his ears rather, imploring him not to capitulate in any way. That's what this was about. And the second everybody realizes that, the better off everybody will be. At some point in time, we got to sit up there and recognize what's going on here. We got to recognize that when you look at an Anthony Davis, although he may end up in L.A. eventually, nobody's trying to help LeBron James. People are thankful that he went to 9 NBA Finals, 8 straight NBA Finals. People are thankful that he's the greatest player in the world and an iconic figure. But they don't want to empower him any more than he's empowered. He's playing with the odds stacked against him. And it's going to be really interesting to see how Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka, the general manager for the Los Angeles Lakers, handle this into the future. And if LeBron James was sitting on the sidelines, content to defer to Magic Johnson and the Los Angeles Lakers, I'm here to tell you right now, that's come to an end. It's not an accident that on TNT last night, with LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak, captains of their respective all-star teams, picking the all-stars that they wanted to play alongside them. It's not an accident who LeBron James ended up picking. It's not an accident, not by any stretch of the imagination. You can act like you don't know if you want to. You can act all surprised all if you want to. But I'm here to tell you something right now. It didn't surprise me. When you look at Team LeBron, think about the players that he picked. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, all players he would love to have on his squad. One of the best moments of the whole telecast with Ernie Johnson, the magician, the master himself, the master at being a master of ceremonies, Ernie Johnson. He sat up there and LeBron James picked Anthony Davis, and he said, "You sure you want to do that?" LeBron, like, I'm pretty sure that I want him as my teammate. The Greek Freak with the line of the night, "Isn't that tampering?" And LeBron laughing, "It ain't tampering for an all-star game." It was a beautiful thing to see. Beautiful thing to see. But he ain't hiding it. He's doing it right in front of you. He knows who he wants. And the question is, who can he get? I'm here to tell you something right now. It'll be, no matter what way you slice it, whether it's hard for him and the Lakers to get the New Orleans Pelicans to make a trade, or whether it's hard for him to recruit, I'm going to tell you something right now. The pressure, as far as I'm concerned, has considerably rolled off the shoulders of Earvin Magic Johnson. The pressure is now on LeBron James. Magic Johnson couldn't get it done before the NBA trading deadline. We recognize that. Magic Johnson is still a president of basketball operations. Actually, it was Magic Johnson that had to get on the phone with Dell Demps, according to my sources, because he wouldn't talk to Rob Pelinka. There's plenty of people out there ain't interested in helping Rob Pelinka, who was an agent before he became the GM, who's had a close relationship with Kobe and, of course, Jeannie Buss, whose relationship with others around the league is highly questionable. Now, I have no problem with him. And I think the kind of complaints that you hear about him, you could easily hear about any agent. So it ain't like Rob Pelinka is the devil reincarnated or something. That's not what we're saying here. I'm saying that now that he's a general manager, people are going to pick, parse, and choose what they want to hold against them and what they don't want to. And as a result, he's somewhat compromised. You slice it any way you want to. That's what this all comes down to. It's simply inescapable. And we don't even need to try. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show. ESPN Radio, ESPN News. So to me, the pressure is immensely on the shoulders of LeBron James, because here's the one question that has to be asked about LeBron James when it comes into this summer. Can he recruit? You are in L.A. You got Southern California sunshine, palm trees, Rodeo Drive. You don't have to worry about no blizzards, no snowstorms. Hell, you barely have to worry about rain. You got beautiful weather. You got Tinseltown. You got loads and loads of opportunity to go where the money's at and to make something work along those lines. And you have the Laker brand, the greatest brand in all of basketball, worldwide. There's no bigger basketball brand. There is no bigger basketball brand than the Los Angeles Lakers. None bigger. So when you look at it from that perspective and you're dissecting and analyzing, LeBron James, he's going to be under some pressure. Can you recruit and get somebody to come and play with you? That's really the question in all of this. Can he pull it off? Because you can't make the Pelicans trade Anthony Davis before it's time. Now, Rich Paul and Clutch Sports are incredibly confident that Anthony Davis is going to be out of there this summer. And chances are he's absolutely right. That doesn't mean he's going to go where he wants to go. Then you could talk about a one-year rental. Anybody that grabs Anthony Davis, all you'll have him for is 1 year. But you don't know that. And oh, by the way, if Anthony Davis decides to come to L.A., who the hell's to say it's the Lakers? Why not the Clippers? They got a protected first-round pick to offer, assuming it's a top 14 pick because they end up out of the playoffs and in the draft lottery. You got a few second-round picks available to you. You certainly have some cap space to make moves. So chances are you'll have an opportunity to get more than just one player if you are the Los Angeles Clippers. Organizationally, this isn't the days of Donald Sterling. Organizationally, this is the billionaire that's Steve Ballmer. This is the man in his right hand and right ear in the great Jerry West. This is Lawrence Frank, a former head coach in this league, an assistant coach in this league, who's now basically your president of basketball operations or executive VP of basketball operations. You still got Doc Rivers there. So you look at all of those different things going on in the Clippers organization. One could argue that's first class. Then we transition to the Los Angeles Lakers. There's been questions about Luke Walton. Well, who hired him? Jeannie Buss with Jim Buss. That wasn't Magic Johnson's hire. Will he stick around? Question mark. Will you be able to recruit a marquee player to come play with LeBron? Question mark. And in the event that you don't, is this team good enough to go into the future with? They damn sure looked that good last night. What a game. What a game. Los Angeles Lakers beat the Boston Celtics on a buzzer beater by Rajon Rondo, a tap out by Tyson Chandler, by the way. Great hustle on his part. Kyle Kuzma had 25 points. Lakers hit about 22 three-pointers. JaVale McGee just continues to impress. I look at all of those things, and I say to myself, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, Los Angeles Lakers, they got some young talent on this squad. By the way, I'm not high on two of them. Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball. Both can play. I'm not saying that. Brandon Ingram, I simply don't think is the right fit for these Lakers. In the case of Lonzo Ball, I'm tired of complaining about his lack of aggression. How do you have a daddy like he has and you lack aggression? This man, LeVar Ball, goes on national TV yesterday talking about LeBron will never win in L.A. without my son, Lonzo Ball. And I tried to tell the Lakers if they took my two children, who, by the way, none of whom are playing in the NBA. You pulled one out of high school, you pulled the other out of college. You took them over to Lithuania, for crying out loud. You're now selling big baller brand water. And I never understood this thing with all of this water stuff. I mean, I thought water was water. I mean, now you got all of these labels. Isn't it water? It ain't like it's Kool-Aid with different flavors or Gatorade with different flavors. So water's supposed to be water. You either got the ones with the electrolyte, the Powerade, all of that other stuff, or you don't. Either you got the alkaline water or the acidic water. I get that part. But with all of these damn water companies, how is one different than the other? How is one alkaline or natural spring water different than the other? How is one acidic, regular water or tap water different than the other? How is one with electrolytes and stuff like that different than the other? I don't get it, guys. Someday somebody has to explain this to me. But it is America. It's a capitalistic society, which means that the objective is to find a sucker every day. And let's not act like I haven't been one in the past either. That's how I know to ask these questions. But I digress. The point that I'm trying to make is, in the end, what you gonna do? If you're Magic Johnson and the Los Angeles Lakers, Lonzo Ball is playing music. He ain't going nowhere for the rest of the season. Ingram ain't going nowhere for the rest of the season. Lance Stevenson ain't going nowhere for the rest of the season. JaVale McGee ain't going nowhere for the rest of the season. Tyson Chandler and those ones. Even though JaVale McGee, Tyson Chandler, Rondo, and LeBron weren't really worried about it. If you Ingram, if you Kuzma, if you're Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, guys like that, you damn sure won't worry. Well, guess what, y'all? Now you have February, March, April, and hopefully, possibly May to show your value. And to show the Lakers, you might not want to think about sending me out of town. You got 3.5 months to do it. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? Because let me tell you something right now. LA ain't New York. I'm a native New Yorker. I love New York. New York's my home. Will always be. The bright lights of Broadway and all of that other stuff, oh man, you can't beat it. But you know what the difference between New York and LA is? Guess what? The answer ain't taxes. They are both monstrous. You know what the difference between the two is? Stress. Because in New York, there's considerably more stress. Guess what? If you in LA and you stuck in traffic on a 405 or the 10 or the 110, you could be like my boy Jeff Brown, who calls me to tease me when a blizzard is taking place in New York City or the weather's in single digits. I just wanted to let you know that my AC is on while the roof is open on my ride. That's what he says to me, just to tease me. He's the guy that wears a scarf and puts on his fireplace when, dare I say, the weather conditions are 68 degrees. That's what he does. Basically giving you an indication this is a worst case scenario situation we're looking at. And if you bet your bottom dollar that there's NBA players that's looking at it like that. Now, let me tell you why LeBron James is in a tight spot. Because there's really no excuse not to go out there and get somebody. You know why? Half the players got a home in LA in the offseason anyway. which gives you an indication of where they would really like to be. So if I got a home in L.A., and Kevin Durant's got a home in L.A., and Anthony Davis has a home in L.A., and it's possible Kyrie, if he doesn't have one yet, is going to have a home in L.A., and Kawhi Leonard has got a $13 million property towards San Diego because he went to San Diego State and he loves Southern California and all of that other stuff. If you LeBron, how come you can't get one of these brothers to come play with you in L.A. wearing a Lakers uniform? This ain't just about Magic anymore. This is about LeBron and whether or not he can recruit. Now, LeBron was on the record, and do we have that sound with him talking about how he has nothing to prove? Because that's a big deal. That's a big deal. If we have it, play it now, please.
There's nothing I need to get in this league that I don't already have. So everything else, for me is just like just icing on the cake. I love, the process of everything that I go through to be able to compete every single night, put teams in position to compete for championships. But there's nothing that I'm chasing or that I feel like I need to end my career on.
Here's the deal. Let's call this what it is. First of all, let's not insult LeBron James. It's not like he's going on the court and doesn't care about winning. That particular statement right there was about LeBron reminding everybody, as he has every right to, by the way. Let's not forget, don't talk to me like I'm some champion. I'm some wannabe champion chasing the ring. I already got 3. Because the experiences that he had to endure in pursuit of that first championship was so real, so daunting, and so excruciating in his eyes that let's be clear about something, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't deserve to have to go through that again. You should not talk to LeBron James. And I'll be the first to admit, I'll come to his defense and tell you, you can't do that to him. You can't talk to him like he's some dude that has never won and that you got to make sure to hold him accountable and treat him like he's chasing some elusive championship that he's never captured. No, he has 3 of them, ladies and gentlemen. 2 in Miami, 1 in Cleveland. He went to 8 straight NBA Finals. You can't tell him anything in that regard, but I will say this. There is something to be said about being the greatest Laker ever to have never won an NBA championship. The only marquee in the history of the Lakers franchise to never have won a championship. I understand you want to throw Elgin Baylor in there, and that's fine. Because he retired the year that Jerry West and those boys won it. He retired midway through that season. But let's understand that there was Jerry West and there was Wilt Chamberlain. And so it wasn't like Elgin Baylor was that dude when he hooked up with Jerry West and these guys. LeBron is still the greatest player in the world. If LeBron doesn't win a championship, he would be that marquee, that one marquee to have failed to bring a championship to L.A. in a Lakers uniform. George Mikan did it. Wilt Chamberlain did it. Jerry West did it. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did it. Magic Johnson did it. Shaq did it. Kobe did it. If LeBron fails to do so, he will be the only person in the history of the franchise to have failed to bring the chip to L.A. as a marquee. Every single marquee for the Lakers delivered a championship. He would be the first to have failed to do so. Now, you can sit up there and joke around like others have, says, look, man, he's going to do the best he can, but when the season's over, he's going to be chilling in the south of France. All is well. Ain't that simple. It ain't what it was when he was chasing that elusive title, but it ain't as simple as they trying to make it out to be either. You got to go and recruit. If I got cats that want to be here and want to buy homes here and want to live here, why am I struggling to get them to play in a Laker uniform when I'm still recognized as the best in the world? I still got game and I'm right here. Why would that be a problem? Ultimately, I have to look at you. If you're LeBron James, because you play for a storied franchise, they got the cap space to bring a marquee dude in here. Can you get them to recruit? Can you get a Kawhi to pass on the Clippers to come to you? Can you get a Kevin Durant to leave Golden State and come help you capture more championships? Or can you perform a mea culpa, acknowledge to Kyrie Irving that, you know what, you could have handled things differently your damn self, and then go about the business of reuniting with Kyrie. I'm not saying that's going to happen because I don't think it is, but I'm just saying these are your options if you're LeBron. Or you can recruit Klay Thompson and say, aren't you tired of being second fiddle to Steph Curry as the greatest shooter on the planet? You can shoot more if you're here. I'll get you the ball. You can do that if you're LeBron. It's something worth thinking about. It really, really is. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. That's why he picked the roster that he picked for the All-Star weekend. Got a whole bunch of free agents he's going to have an opportunity to spend extra time with. Come on to L.A., y'all. What's up? What time is it? Let's do this. That's what he'll probably be saying. We'll see if it works. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. That was Straight Talk Wireless, nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks. I'll get to your phone calls. I'll get more into Anthony Davis. I'll get more into the other trades that took place before yesterday's NBA trading deadline expired and who I think may very well be the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. I'll explain why as well. I'll get a little bit into Markelle Fultz. Okay? And obviously a couple of NFL items will be on the docket as well. Also, soap opera star extraordinaire, my boss on General Hospital, the one and only Maurice Bernard, who plays Sonny Corinthos. Knows the sports, by the way. He's doing some things as well. He's expecting to call in sometime in hour number 2, so I'm hoping to hear from him as well. Stick around. Don't touch that dial. It's the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News, by the way. Fellas, stop lounging around. Be active. Take your girl out. Go to a game or a concert. Get tickets to something. Plus, the NBA season is heating up.